Welcome everyone to today's show. We have a big announcement today on Objection Celebrity Court Chatter. And I have with me our resident Perez versus Lively expert, our very own DFJ. How are you, DFJ?
Good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to bring you on because I know you've been doing a lot of work, promoting this hearing and research on what's going on with the hearing. And, a lot of us are covering the Lively versus Baldoni, and there's all these side quests. You got Jed Wallace, you have the Jen Abel side quest, and then now you have, we had Subpoena Gate, which you were also my go-to for Subpoena Gate, and then Perez. So, your coverage on Perez has been really, really great. And I wanted to not only amplify that because you have your channel now. For those of you who don't know, DFJ has her own YouTube channel. And so I wanted to amplify her work so, people can go subscribe over there, and also, have her on because she has a lot of knowledge of what's going to go on in court and all that stuff. So,
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from you because I did cover Subpoena Gate, and then I felt like, with Perez, I don't know. I just felt like I was so into it. Like, I don't know. Some people see I make like videos almost every time he does a post or anytime he does a live video talking about it. I'll like make a remix, like a 1 minute little, teaser clip of it to try to get more people to like get attention to this and go to his channel and watch and learn more to support him, because this is the first of all the content creator subpoenas that we're going to, or, journalist content creator subpoenas we're going to see actually go to court, like actually go to a hearing. It hasn't been withdrawn. So,
yep. And so we have a big announcement. And that announcement is, it's a surprise. It's Taylor Swift got engaged, y'all.
yeah.
Everybody know that? Just kidding. Just kidding. It's not that. We're going to go over on the show everything that's going to go on in at court. And I will have a firsthand view of that. Christina said, CJ, LOL. I know, I'm playing with y'all. You know what? I'm milking it. Okay.
Thank you, Khaleesi. Khaleesi said it was a good remix video. I told CJ this was the first time I like questioned my music choice on a video, and because
we're gonna lead with that video here soon, Khaleesi.
I wanted it to be. It felt so important because this was like the big one before Thursday.
Christina said, "Milk it, girl." Okay, so the surprise is that I will get a firsthand view of the hearing, and we'll be able to report back to you guys because I am headed to Las Vegas, Nevada, to cover the Perez Hilton hearing, which is probably one of the most important hearings. I mean, yes, Baldoni versus Lively is going to be important, but this, I don't know why it's not being more amplified by MSM and things like that. Well, I kind of do know because it is kind of a fight between traditional media too, and bloggers and content creators, where they've always kind of said like we're not journalists, or content creators aren't journalists. So there's always been like kind of like a little war there anyway. So that might be why MSM hasn't been covering it. But I'm hoping that MSM does cover it. I tagged a bunch of news stations, local news stations, which is our best hope. I don't expect people or anybody. I mean, they might once the verdict is in. But not a lot of people have been covering Perez. So and he put out this video. Go ahead, DFJ.
No, I was just going to say, and it was so funny because CJ and I were talking about this because I was thinking of actually driving there, and I was like, I don't know, because it's, Labor Day weekend. And so the traffic is supposed to be insane. And then this morning she's like, hey, I booked a flight. I'm going. So it was like, all hands on deck. And
yeah. So first I was trying to convince her to go. And then it was like a little bug after, because she's like, I don't want to drive. Like, it seems like it's going to be too much. Which I'm still trying to convince her to go. And
it's still not totally ruled out, but I'm just like, I'm
it's the last minute too. It's so crazy, but this is
last minute. It's last minute, and I'm worried about the animals and getting home on time. And so, but CJ is like, come on, you have to do it. So we're going to have an executive decision on that tomorrow. But for now, CJ is going to be there.
Yeah, for now I will be there. And this is what made me on a whim. Also Perez, I wanted to support him too. So I wanted him to see that there was people who were willing to just, on a whim go out there and support him. Like, who cares if it was travel money and things? It's like, this is important. And I wanted him to have the community behind him. So
Wait, the video inspired you to do
yes,
it?
this video that you made, I was like,
Oh my
wow, it
God.
really hit me.
Oh
Uh,
my God, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, thank you. I'm so
yes.
excited.
And she wrote, I can't believe Blake Lively and her esteemed team are really this dumb enough to go through with taking at the Perez Hilton to court over their BS subpoena of him. But here we are. Please come support local Las Vegas journalists Thursday, August 28th, 12:15, Federal Courthouse Room 7C. So this is the video that Perez first put out. And the original video kind of did plant a tiny little seed too, because I remember him saying, like, I got my hat on and I'm outside in nature and stuff. And the seed that it planted was like get out of the house, like almost like risk taking a little bit, like go do something. Like, he's out in nature. He's like, I'm about to go take this walk. And, we're always like in our computers, and us content creators who are covering Lively, like she keeps us, in the computer and docket watch and stuff. And it inspired me because he was out in nature. And I was like, it's summer. So the original video already kind of planted seeds, but this is the one. I'm going to go ahead and play it. And I hope it inspires more of you guys. If you live in Vegas and you just want to go, if you don't have to be a journalist, you could just be an advocate. You can stand outside the courthouse, or even go inside the courtroom. We're going to go over all the protocols and everything, but I hope this inspires someone. If anybody wants to buy a ticket on a whim or drive down there, this is what inspired me. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
This Thursday, I am showing up in court for a showdown with Blake Lively's lawyers here in Las Vegas. Pro se, without an attorney, is where I need your help. Would love it if you show up. Want to get as many reporters there as possible, because this is bigger than me. Truly could have very serious repercussions for journalists. Blake Lively issued a subpoena against me. They know that what is being asked of me is privileged, protected. The U.S. Constitution and the Nevada Constitution protect me here in this ridiculous drama with Blake Lively. Please show up this Thursday, August 28th, in the federal courthouse here in Las Vegas at 12:15 p.m. in courtroom 7C. I will be wearing my florals.
I will be wearing my florals. I'm going to try and get florals as well. I'm into, if anybody who follows this channel knows, I'm into court fashion. Like, I love court fashion, so I want to come correct. But nothing too distracting, or like, I kind of, don't want to be like too, what does it call it? Peacocking. But I want to wear something nice, obviously respect the courts and all that stuff.
Well, originally our outfit was going to be incognito.
Yes, but then we realized that you have to take your sunglasses and your scarves off. You can't wear hats, sunglasses in the courtroom. I should
Lively's team is going to have like their like hidden body camera or something to like document everyone there.
Yeah, you never know with them, but you know what? God is always with us, and so I don't fear. You fear no evil. Because there was, while making my decision, like for me personally, this is a bigger announcement as well, because I have my picture up and everything, but I've never like done anything live or collabed with anybody, or been around any other content creators or anything. And going in person like this is a really, really big step. And I just had to remind myself, like, you know what, like, it's more important to be there to support Perez and to support the movement for journalists. I'm a citizen journalist. I just started. Like, this could have an impact on me in the way that I report stuff on my channel.
Yeah, and I had reached out to a journalist from Las Vegas who I followed for the Jeff German trial, or it was like the Robert Tellis was murdered, like Jeff German, a local journalist in Las Vegas, and it was really personal for all the local journalists there to see like justice for him. So, anyways, I reached out to her personally, and I was like, another journalist is like, being attacked in Las Vegas, and she's going after the shield law. And so she responded to me, and she said that she was going to send it to the whole station, because she's in a different city now. So I thought that was so cool. And so, because when like another station hears it from like their former reporter, I feel like they'll probably send someone and I don't know. I think this is going to be big, I think. Whatever happens.
Yes, for sure. I have the picture real quick. Let me pull it up of what we look like because I thought it was so funny. The one that I sent you of the scarves and the glasses. This was me and DFJ. Hold on, let me pull it up. This is how we're going to show it to court.
Yeah, we were going to have our scarves and sunglasses.
So that is
my only thing is I'm worried about driving home. Like feel like I'd fall asleep because supposedly the drive home would be like, you know, between like 5 and 7 hours. But you know, I think I can also be here and just not go and support CJ because CJ has friends there, and there I think that I don't know. I'm just like happy to support you either way.
Yeah. And I know somebody said if we had PayPal, I'm setting up a Cash App. So I will link it in the stream because I know Laura has been bugging me about that because there's other people that have been asking if I had one or not. And yeah, Laura was like, you need to get it because everyone keeps asking. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into don't be suspicious, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So let me go ahead and get into the first slide. So here's the flyer from that video. You know, I'm glad that Perez put out the bat signal. That's why when I said big announcement coming soon, I had the Batman. It's a lot like, you know, people were like, why Batman? Because I felt like Perez sent the bat signal out, and journalists and just citizens like DFJ came out and you know, she made this beautiful flyer, which I also have a lot of friends in Vegas who have since printed this flyer, put it on in their businesses, car washes and hair salons and stuff. And we've been posting this around town the last couple days. So hopefully
so many
that gives some traction.
Yeah, and so many people in this community have like reposted that, and I thought it's just been awesome to spread the word.
Yeah. So Blake Lively is going after journalists in Nevada, and it's profoundly tone deaf, especially in the wake of the Jeff German murder. Could you really quickly summarize the?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Jeff German was like a famous investigative journalist among journalists in Las Vegas. He did a lot of stories like uncovering corruption and whatnot. And so when he was murdered, they were so protective of his sources. That when the sorry, I think it was at the something journal. I just spaced out on me what the name of where he worked
the Las
at.
Vegas Review Journal.
The Review Journal, yeah. So when they were doing the investigation, Las Vegas Review Journal intervened and didn't want any of his like his laptop, his recording devices, anything to be seized because to protect his sources, not even to solve his murder. And it went all the way up to the highest court in Nevada, and they ruled that like his sources were still protected, and that was a huge deal. So they already had really strict laws for the Nevada Shield Law, and that just kind of solidified it. And this was only like a few years ago, and that trial was such a big trial, and they ended up catching the murderer. His name was Robert Tellis, and I have it on my TikTok. I should upload those videos to my YouTube. But anyways, it was a politician that murdered him for writing stories about him. And it was a really big deal. And it had the best, by the way, if you want to see a really good prosecutor, Chris Harmon was the prosecutor. He was so good. The guy was like, I mean, one of the best I've ever seen. So just a side note on it. But basically, yeah, they don't play when it comes to the shield laws in Nevada, like at all.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting because you know, we'll get into it in some later slides why that's important. So just pin Jeff German because the judge is going to come into play with that. So
and sorry, I forgot one more thing, but like also for people who don't know, because I forgot not everyone lives in like America, but like Vegas was kind of built on like corruption and casinos and organized crime. So like watchdog journalism is like so crucial there. It's like it's very important to protect journalists and to protect reporters there because of like the history of the corruption.
And that's why you even put there it's about survival.
Yeah.
Like without, you know, the citizens going out there to report. That's why the law is so ironclad with one of the broadest definitions of journalist. Okay, so when I have a Roman Empire, I'll go research. I'll be like, what is going on? And this hearing, it's been my Roman Empire since DFJ put it on the radar. And obviously Perez too, because he was being very loud about it. And I think that's what was helpful when he was doing those filings, where, he was being inappropriate and stuff like that. Because it was creating like more, like, people being loud and paying more attention. And I know for me, I was watching him way more than I normally watch him, because I normally just read his blogs, old school. But I was watching all his YouTube videos and stuff. So anyways, one of the things was how Blake Lively said that he wasn't a journalist.
Yep.
And so I started to Google, like, what's the definition of a journalist, right? And so I'm thinking, like, okay, well, maybe they might have a case. Like, I was starting to get a little like, but there's a thing called the Nevada Shield Law that their definition of journalist is not the dictionary definition of journalist. Their definition of journalist is someone who gathers information. It doesn't even have to be news. It's any information that's gathered and then disseminated. And so what they were arguing was like, well, he's not a journalist because he just talks gossip or whatever. Well, no, with this, and it also encompasses digital journalism as well. So they just put that in there recently. Bloggers and digital journalism is also considered a journalist. So you don't have to be a traditional journalist or whatever they call it, because that's what Blake calls it in her paperwork. I think it's like traditional journalist. You don't have to be a traditional journalist here. So that's why this law is like super important. It's one of the biggest one to fight for citizen journalism and stuff and digital creators. So anyways, the next slide, it says, in fact, in Nevada, stunts like putting photos of journalists' children on the public court docket couldn't just be seen as intimidation. It could be treated as a criminal offense. And the German trial proved the point that in Nevada, journalists aren't just shielded by the law, they're backed by an entire community. Because when that trial happened, everybody came out in full force. And that's kind of what we were trying to do here with the Perez trial. So expect local journalists to show up to Perez's hearing next Thursday and cover this pathetic stunt, in my opinion. This is DFJ here. This was taken from her X post. Lively has initiated on one of their own. So, let's continue, because I feel like Perez has a very strong case. He's battling it out with a bunch of judges. So we're gonna first go over the deets that DFJ called. She called the marshal today. So for anybody showing up, all right, so you guys can screenshot that last slide. DFJ has it on her X, and I'll link this flyer on her X so you guys can repost it. Reposting helps. Like, y'all, we still have a day and a half here until Thursday. So anything helps. Reposting this really, really helps. And so here are the rules if you're going to be going. Do you want to read those real quick, DFJ? I got to let my cat out.
Yeah. So basically, this is from the judge, and he said that for related security concerns, it's so ordered that only counsel and parties shall be allowed their cell phones or laptops in the courtroom, but will still not be permitted to record the proceedings or take photographs. And in any federal court, there's no cameras anyways. So that's standard. Members of the public will not be allowed to have their laptops or cell phones within the courtroom and are subject to secondary screening prior to entry to observe proceedings. So basically, if you're going inside the courtroom, you cannot even have a phone or laptop. Like, they're not messing around. Like, it's not just like turn it off. It's like you cannot have it. And so I, of course, was like, well, where are you supposed to put it if you like take a taxi or an Uber there and you don't have a car? So I called Chambers, or I called the clerk for his chambers. And then he told me to call the marshal, gave me a different number because he's like, the marshal handles court security. So then I called them and I asked, and he's like, well, you got to leave it in your car or leave it with someone who's not going inside. He's like, we don't hold on to that stuff. And so he was really serious. And that's just like, if you do go, just make sure you know that and be prepared for that.
Yeah. I thought they would give out like Faraday bags or something, like they do in the high schools now.
Someone's like, maybe they'll give you a coat check. And I was like, I don't know. Like, if the federal courthouse is going to do that. No, and they're not. They're just like, it's not our problem. You figure it out, basically. But no phones or laptops inside the courtroom.
So if you are going to go and you decide to go inside the courtroom, maybe go in pairs and have someone that can enter the courtroom to support and listen in, and someone who can stand outside and hold the phones. That's an option. Or drive there and leave it in the car. So those are some of the rules there, and then we're going to get into the lawyers, because this is the craziest part. Okay, so we have Meryl Gavernsky, who was added. She used to be Drake's lawyer. I don't know if y'all remember from my stream. I actually said she still was, because I had no idea that she had left. So when I did the Drake stream, she was on there, and we went over her bio and everything. And she's gone through a lot of different cases, and she's great. I'm gonna just say it, like, she has a good record, and like when we were talking about her for the Drake case, so they called in the big dogs, I guess. It says, you may remember her from the Venable subpoena, Taylor Swift's law firm ordeal on the DC docket. She also intervened on behalf of Lively.
Because she's from DC. So it was the DC docket. And that's, I think, when she was still at Wilkie, and then she left. But so she intervened. And so when I actually, on that post, I have a link to your filing if you want to, sorry, someone just messaged me. If you want to see like what her type of writing is. I've never seen her like in person. It literally says, I don't know if you can see down there, the 2024 Law Dragon 500X, the next generation. Of course, she's a law dragon. It's just, Khaleesi's going to have her freaking law dragons there. Right?
When we were going over it, her education and stuff, and what she had worked on and stuff, I was like, oh wow, she's packed. She's worked in all kinds of different stuff. So I don't know, like, yeah, she's a dragon for sure. So let's see what happens. But we also have Lauren Martin, that this is an associate, and she's like the kind of like paralegal helping out or something, or right? She's just an associate. Oh, because
sorry. Okay. Well, you should leave me to maybe just say this part so you don't get canceled. Let me get canceled. So basically, Lively, for representing her, usually only has like senior partners. If you haven't noticed, like everyone's super high up, a senior partner. This is like an associate. And honest to God, I'm sure she's very smart and very capable, but I think that they have her as a token person of color because of the judge and because of what Perez is alleging in some of the things that he's put on this docket, like how Blake Lively's got married at a slave plantation and has done blackface. So I think this, just to me, that's just like out there, but maybe not. We'll see. When you're there, CJ, I want you to, in your notes, make sure you notate who is speaking. I'd be curious.
Okay. So let me get to the next slide then. So then here we have Richard Parker, who is the Nevada Bar's past president. Clark County Bar Luncheon to feature Nevada Bar past president. So he's
the local
representing them locally. So normally you need to have a local judge, and then the other ones come in pro. How do you say it? Pro hack vice or pro hoc?
Pro hoc vice.
Yeah, pro hoc.
I always say it wrong. So
so they have but this is the local lawyer. So this is Richard Parker here. And then we also have,
and they spell his name wrong on the docket.
No, and that's why I couldn't find him. I'm like, where the heck is Richard Park?
No, because they say pocket on one and then Parker on the other. I think it was like an autocorrect or something, but don't worry, I got you. So yeah, so this is the judge. And it was really interesting because for all the subpoena cases we've had that have been out of state so far, that we've seen, like the one on Friedman's law firm that was in California, the Stephanie Jones Meta one that was also in California, it starts with like a judge and then they assign it to like a magistrate judge. And both times the magistrate judge has like been so overwhelmed by all this information that gets thrown at them about this, like these dual dockets in New York with like over like, however many 600 something filings. And they just kind of bend over and do whatever that like the other side is asking. So I was really excited about this judge. And then I saw that it was assigned to a magistrate judge. Do you want to go to that one?
Yep. Let me go to the next one. Okay, so here's
If you guys see like how it says referred to, and then so the magistrate judge has done like some rulings, like how he told Perez how the last filing he did it as a letter, and you're supposed to do it as like, you know, a motion. It's not like the New York one. So I was like, darn, it's going to go to another magistrate judge, and I was so sad. But then on both of like the hearing, both of the things notes we see now about the hearing, it says it's going to be Judge Boulware. So go to the next one. So I think we are getting this Judge Richard F. Boulware, which is awesome. And to me, because first of all, he responded so quickly to when sorry, I don't think fastly is the word. So quickly when Perez put on the docket, like how responded to Blake's motion. And then like he put this hearing on the docket like so fast. And then because the hearing is in 7C, that is his courtroom. So I don't think, unlike the other things we've seen in California for the subpoenas going to the magistrate judge, I think the magistrate judge here literally just did the stuff, was just overseeing stuff on the docket until this hearing. But I think he is actually overseeing the hearing, which is like a huge plus. He seems like a very established judge. He's been there since 2014, appointed by like Obama. So he knows, I don't think he's going to be intimidated like the ones out in California. I don't think he's going to care that these fancy pants lawyers are going to be showing up and saying, look at this crazy docket, and is this too complicated for you? No, I don't think he's going to, in my opinion. I think he sees exactly what's going on. What do you think?
Yeah, I also think that as well. He seems really, like, I looked him up. He seems like he's really about like the issues. But the one thing that I thought, you know, is the plantation stuff that he put in. I'm not sure, because I think that's the next slide, right? That we're gonna get into the plantation stuff. I'm not sure how he's gonna like take that, and if that might go against Perez. That's the only thing that I'm wondering. If he's,
I don't think it's gonna be that like that big of a thing. But so the way Perez filed it, okay, he started off with the new evidence, which was that new oh, sorry, am I skipping ahead? Okay.
I'm trying to find the slide where we're talking about the right here.
Well, yeah. Well, I was just going to say that remember that new evidence we saw where they were saying like, wow, like Perez is having like all this good press. How do we get in touch with him? And this was in January of this year, and they didn't even know how to get in touch with him. Like, oh, maybe through Brian. So that just goes to show he wasn't part of a coordinated smear campaign that started in freaking August. And in the subpoena, they want information from him, like going back to even before August of last year. So with the new evidence, he added that. And then in addition, he made the argument how all of his reporting has been organic. And he says why, because they also put on Blake's team had put a list of all the things he had said, you know, that he called her and some of the names of the articles and why. And so he was saying why he comes up with these nicknames for her is based on her own actions. So like, this was just one example, like, you know, the plantation, how she had her wedding there.
Blake Lively and I went to the same high
school.
This
was like a whole other slide, like, because I told
talked about Blake Lively.
You can turn that off. Yeah, I told CJ like I was going to do a different video on this because there was so much more. Like, remember when Sweet and Salty Lynn said like they taught slavery at her high school because she went to the same high school?
Yeah.
Because like Blake said she didn't, but there were so many other like things along those lines. And I don't think it's going to be a big thing at the hearing, but it was just like, just interesting stuff, like how they still own Boone Hall LLC. And remember,
it could go either way, because he might, you know, he's a black, look, he did this Black in America, addressing inequality in America, securing civil and political rights, right? And, you know, it might go against Blake for him to, so he could go either way. It might go against Blake or it might go against Perez, depending on how he feels about it. Because he might.
Another reason why I think they're having that, in my opinion, purely my opinion, not CJ's opinion, in my opinion, why they're having that token associate lawyer.
Okay, I got you. To like cure that somehow.
That's just me, and we'll see.
Okay, let's go back to the other slide real quick, because
I just thought this was like a cool connection. Like, he does have a connection to the SDNY. So like, you know, that's where Lyman is, and that's where this case is. And so he used to clerk for Judge Denise Cody, and she's still there, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know. I mean, doesn't mean anything. There's 45, like something like 45 or 48 judges in SDNY. So, but it's still kind of like a cool connection, I thought.
Okay. And then this one was
it was just to say, see there it says like how Southern District of New York has 45. So that's where I got that number from.
Okay. Let me go back to this one. Yeah, we found out that this is when Ellsworth found out that Ryan Reynolds owned Boone Hall LLC, and then a day later it was dissolved.
Yeah, so, and this is like way after. This was even after they gave the money to the NCAAP, because then they bought the name. It's just like, everything they do keeps coming out the longer they drag this out, and it's just, I don't know, it just makes you ask questions.
And then here Blake is with her booty go round.
Yeah, and then like how like the video of her admitting to doing blackface, I was like thought it was funny to.
And this is the one that he submitted was the blackface. Yeah.
And it was to stalk, guys she had a crush on while she wore a Scary Spice wig, I guess.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this was random. Should we skip this? This was just a random. Because so much has been going on. I don't know if you guys saw that there was a response to the opposition to sanctions for Friedman. And like, I literally looked at the first one and they already like mischaracterized it. There was like 16 different phrases that Blake Lively's attorneys have like said, and they were trying to justify it. And like, I already just proved they're just not great people in my opinion. I cannot stand these attorneys. But anyways, we can go to the next slide because I could go on that forever. We should skip this. Okay, so this was just filed like literally right before.
This is hot tea. This is hot tea. This is the latest.
Hold on to put my notifications back on focus. Okay. Yeah, so do you want to read it?
Yeah, so it says, so this was filed by Mario Lavandera, aka P to the R to the E to the Z to the H to the I to the L to the O to the N. Perez Hilton. I love it when he says that. Okay. Comes now Mario Lavandera Jr., also known as Perez Hilton, pro se, and respectfully moves this court to permit supplementation of the record in support of his pending motion to quash. It says, 1, movement has filed in this court a motion to quash a third-party subpoena served upon him by plaintiff Blake Lively. In support of that motion, movement previously submitted a letter from a colleague at the Las Vegas Morning Blend television program confirming his role as a regular reporter on that show, airing on the local ABC affiliate KTNV Channel 13. So I'm thinking KTNV might be there because he got a letter submitted by a call. He knows somebody there.
No, that's the one where the reporter I reached out to was from that station.
So I'm like, now we're doubling our chances. Okay. Since the filing of that motion, movement has received an additional letter of support from Melinda Shekels, editor of The Town magazine, a Las Vegas-based publication. Ms. Shekels confirms that she commissioned and edited a 2024 article featuring movement and affirms her recognition of him as a fellow journalist and peer. The supplemental evidence further demonstrates movement's longstanding role and recognition as a celebrity reporter and well-regarded journalist within the Las Vegas media community. It is therefore directly relevant to the application of the Nevada Shield Law and the federal reporter's privilege in this case. For the foregoing reasons, movement respectfully requests that the court grant this motion to supplement and accept it into the record the attached letter from Ms. Shekels as additional evidence in support of the motion to quash. Respectfully submitted, Mario Lavandera. So this is important because what did we say in the beginning was that we needed journalists to, you support Perez and all this. And the Las Vegas community right here, we're seeing it. The Las Vegas Morning Blend. Shout out to Las Vegas Morning Blend. I'm gonna start watching that. And then the Town magazine, I'm gonna check it out and I'll link them in the description because they came out in support of Perez and they said, look, he was on our show as a reporter and he was on our show, or he wrote an article in our magazine.
And he's literally covering the lawsuit. I mean, it's, if page 6 is considered journalism, if the tabloids are considered journalism, Perez is like even a step above that. And he also, by the way, has protected his sources like a real journalist. Because remember, he had the same tea that was about James Vistuska about amending his complaint. He never said who was his source for that, but he was right. And so he obviously is a journalist. And for them to for Lively's team to really try to argue that he's not, I think I think it's so stupid. I don't understand what is wrong with these people.
Okay, so I wanted to put up this comment that said that Perez had also been critical of Baldoni. In the beginning, there was like criticism of Baldoni in the very beginning of the lawsuit before the other one came out. And it wasn't like bad. He was just reporting, what we knew, like, oh my gosh. Because even me, I can admit that in the very beginning, I know there's people who came onto this case smelling it and they clocked it. They stood on business and clocked it, like Beaver says.
Yeah, that was me. I got definitely attacked for it, but I have the receipts where I
so I was like, I didn't. I literally fell for it in the beginning. R.A. Jacobs, who's going to be at the courthouse, who I hopefully can meet because she was my red pill into the Blake Lively case. I remember reading the Blake Lively case, and then she had posted something about Taylor Lorenz and how like don't believe the New York Times, and then I started digging through that rabbit hole. So but before that, I was like, I did think it was kind of like sus though, because I was like, dang, he just invited his homeboys to like watch Blake Lively like naked give birth, like, because like that's what it made it sound like. And I was just like, who would do that to Ryan Reynolds' wife? He's like that's dumb, like that's like ending your career right then and there. Like it always seemed unbelievable to me because like who would do that? And then obviously when he came out with his stuff, but yeah, so Perez was not, obviously it was not a smear campaign. It's everybody came to that conclusion, especially when, and this is when I noticed it was citizens, because I was, retweeting citizens and their opinions. And I noticed the shift when Exhibit A dropped. When Exhibit A dropped and everybody got to see the exact timeline of what happened, that's when people organically were, upset with her and stuff. And even before that.
And she calls the website part of the retaliatory smear campaign. I was like, it's the countersuit and the timeline with the missing messages from your hit piece in the New York Times. So, and it's also is submitted into evidence. So it's like on the public court docket. So it's not part of any smear campaign. I cannot stand these people.
Jane, you could be citizen journalist. You could be a citizen journalist. Of course you can. Anybody can be a citizen journalist. That's why I was telling DFJ when, me and DFJ were collabing. I'm like, you need to get your own channel and you need to start blasting because your ideas are really good, especially when it was on Jen Abel and that whole case. I was like, post the videos, get a YouTube channel. Because I know she was over on TikTok. She's Law Paws and Nerds over there. But I was like, I was encouraging her, like, obviously citizen journalism is very important. Thank you, Khaleesi. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And that's why I love, honestly, you guys, that's why I love CJ, because she like does like support everyone else. And I wasn't going to do a YouTube. She's like, no, you need to put this video on YouTube. Like you should put this on YouTube. And so, but she definitely like understands the concept that like when we all support each other, it makes everything better. It's just like a bigger, more like well-oiled machine because people don't want to listen to MSN and MSM mainstream media anymore because they're not putting in the effort. Like, oh my God, what was that yesterday? Did you see Josh Boswell from Daily Mail, who I thought was like on the right side of things until his article yesterday, where he like totally did a 180 and all of a sudden was saying like, talking about Judd Wallace, like the evidence of the smear campaign. I was like, sorry, were you given like the James Vituska treatment? Like, did they poison you or something? Why are you turning like this? Like, and it's all old news.
Because Daily Mail is probably on their asses, probably. I mean, we saw the communications with James V, and I want to do a show on that as well. I just had to, I'm not going to have any shows this week because obviously I'm going to be traveling and stuff, but I do want to get into the James Vitushka of it all because that was interesting. I think we covered it a little bit on Monday. We were supposed to do it on the legal wrap up tomorrow, but there's not going to be a show tomorrow morning. I'm just going to be live streaming on Thursday morning. And that's another thing because in order, I think, to live stream from my phone, I do need like 160 more subscribers. So I think you need 1,000 subscribers to go live from your phone, from your mobile phone. So
we're gonna test it after the stream because I think she still can because I remember I was trying to test if I could do it with the avatar. And it was gonna like let me go live and like I have no subscribe, like I have like a few hundred. So
we'll test it and see. Let me answer this question really quick from Joy. Courtroom artists. If anyone is going, I had messaged Jane Rosenberg, but I think it's like too late because they have to submit something to the court. You can't just go and sketch.
Yeah.
You have to submit something to the court. I know somebody else was like, CJ, you could draw it. I'm not that super artistic. I do draw. But
yeah, but I told CJ I want notes. I want like her to take good notes, and I want to know who's speaking.
I know shorthand. So I used to do like secretarial work back in the day, like receptionist work and stuff. So I know shorthand. So I'm really good at like writing fast and stuff. So
yeah, I want her like you to say like which.
And I'm so excited because also really quick, there's Laura. Hey Laura. I wanted to say Laura also was very supportive of DFJ getting her own channel. That's also where like the idea came.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, so thank you, Laura, for that and being supportive of that. We both saw that she had a good info to put out on her own. Yes, Joy. Yeah, that's awesome shorthand. So yeah, with the sketch artists, it might be too late to get one. But I did message because I had a communication with Jane Rosenberg, who did the Diddy trial. But I think she's based out of New York. But she had said she was going to come on my show after the Diddy trial, and I never circled back. But I did send a bad signal to her. It's probably too last minute, but I did do that. What were they saying? Let me look at this.
Oh, I love this one from Quarter Fate. It says, I love listening to you two. So supportive, just good vibes here. That's what we're all about. The good vibes.
For sure. I thought there was another question, but I thought I started and then I didn't. Let me just look real quick. Yeah. The one about Baldoni. When the journalists are reporting on Blake, aren't they also reporting on Baldoni? Yeah, and there's other journalists who report, bad about Baldoni. So I don't understand why, it's only the Blake or the pro or the anti-Blake people that are, and it's just an opinion. It's not like we're anti-Blake. It's just like our opinion is that we don't believe her. That's the thing. It's not like bullying or anything. It's just giving our opinion that we don't believe her. Is there a way to find out if people that did not respond to the Google subpoena, was their information turned over?
I know.
They took out that the Google subpoena. So
what?
Right? The Google subpoena, or was it just the people? Oh, the people who didn't file. That's what she's asking. She's asking if the people who didn't file the motion to quash.
Yeah, so I guess Google would have turned over their information. She didn't withdraw the Google subpoena.
No, okay, yeah. So
she only withdrew people's names who filed the motion to quash so that the judge wouldn't read their motion to quash on the docket. But that's like a really good point. And, and just another thing Perez has on his side, in my opinion, like I made a thread about like all the things, just another reason why I thought this whole subpoena was stupid. Sorry, I have to hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. What was she saying? Why the whole subpoena was?
Why I think the whole subpoena thing is stupid. So there's this, just another example, because there's 107 content creators subpoenaed. And the ones that fight back, like right now, I think there's at least 8 protective orders on the docket. And first of all the ones that fought back for like a motion to quash, they withdrew them. So the judge wouldn't even read them in New York. So that just goes to show like how baseless these are, in my opinion. And then, right now sitting on the docket, there's 8 motions for protective orders. These are from the content creators that were subpoenaed because of how like abusive like they think like Lively's been in this whole process. There's also motions for sanctions. And then there's also a bar complaint for one of the lawyers for issuing these subpoenas. And so there's like already documented on the docket how abusive this whole like subpoena issue has been with Blake Lively. We're now in August. She filed this in December. Why is she filing this in December and asking for their resources now? It makes no sense. This is clearly like a baseless fishing expedition, and there's so much to support that. This was also part of that filing.
So this is the letter right here that she Melinda Shekels. Shout out to Melinda. I'm writing to you on behalf of Mario. I serve as the editor of The Town magazine based in Las Vegas and owned by Richmond Media Group. I've been an entertainment and lifestyle journalist covering Las Vegas since 2007. This gets me so excited because it's so wholesome. Like all the good stories that are coming out of this. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I had to pause because I'm getting emotional. Like, it's just so cool. It's really, really cool. In the fall 2024 issue of The Town, sorry, y'all, it hit me. Like, Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, no, don't be sorry. I mean, it's like this is cool, and now what's going to happen because of this, Melinda Shekels, you're an all-star, you're a rock star, you're awesome, and I now a bunch of us, and I see it's a 310 number. That's like LA, so a lot of Southern California. Now they're going to get a lot of support. I mean, I don't even know what the Town magazine is, but like I'm about to subscribe to all their info. Like I'm going to subscribe to their account, to their YouTube, whatever they have. I'm subscribing,
Yeah,
and I'm going to be reposting their stuff. Because that's real. That's real right there. Like that was like not for clicks. That was real.
I was like, Melinda, you choked me up. And you know what? There was Andy read his filing today on Popcorn Planet, and he had support from someone. I remember when he wrote that tweet that said that he wasn't a journalist, that he's like, I'm not a paid journalist. Well, that was like an oopsie on him. Like it was the wrong tweet because apparently he had been getting paid by Fandom Wire at some point to report, and Fandom Wire came out and said something in his the newest motion that he just filed. So shout out to everyone that is supporting and saying like these are considered journalists and stuff. It says, I considered him a worthy subject for this magazine because he is a notable celebrity reporter and media personality. I see Perez as a fellow journalist and peer. So he commissioned and edited an article from him. So kudos to Melinda. Let me look up the Town magazine and see if they have an X so they can link it. Maybe it's just magazine form old school. Like, am I gonna have them mail it to me? The Town magazine of Summerlin, is that the magazine? The Town magazine. I don't see.
Look up the Richmond Media Group, maybe.
Las Vegas edition. Hold on. The Town magazine, Las Vegas, Richmond Media Group. That might bring up the right one. Well, Richmond Media Group is on Instagram. Let me see this one. So if y'all are on Instagram, or this is a film producer, this might not be the right one.
Hold on. What's her name? I'll look it up. Hold on. What's her name?
Melinda. Hold on. I have it right here. Where am I? Okay. Melinda Shekels, Shekkells. The Town magazine. I found one that said the Summerlin Town magazine, but I'm not sure.
I'm on her LinkedIn. Let's see. It says, it says she's at the Hollywood Reporter. This must be old. I see her because I found her.
Because this looks, this looks like it might be this. The Town Summerlin. Because Summerlin is in Vegas. Or it's like a off Vegas.
I don't think that's it.
No?
I'm looking at right now, People magazine has an article, blah, blah, blah. It says that she's appeared in the Hollywood Reporter, Billboard Variety, KTNV in Vegas, Tasty Tuesday.
I accidentally kicked myself out. Yes. Okay. So I have the Cash App because everybody was asking, and I'm only doing it because everybody's asking and they want to support. And so there's the Cash App right there. It's CJournalist24.
But don't worry. Oh, go ahead.
You don't have to. So the way I want y'all to support is share that flyer, share it high and wide. It's on DFJ's X. Can you pin stuff to your profile? Can you pin that one to your profile, DFJ?
I think it is. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna pin it to my profile. That's a good idea.
We're all emotionally invested. I know. And I'm saying, like, I don't know why it just hits me out of nowhere. The last time this happened was on a Marvel stream talking about like Bosman. I was just like, oh, it's a small stream, like a lot of people here, but I ended up reposting it on mine, and then Bo DeMaio himself ended up, going in there, and I'm like, oh my God, like it's so embarrassing because
it was so funny because I was telling CJ yesterday, I was like, oh my God, like I don't know if I could like justify it. It's like I'm gonna be in the car like all day, like it'll be like 6 to 8 hours like each way, and for like I was like, this is not a trial, it's gonna be like a 20-minute hearing, it's not gonna be that long, and CJ's like, but it's history.
So history in the making, and it's just important, right? Like when I was like debating it too, because I have real life stuff, like this is on a whim to just go and do this. This is not something that you just like do. But when I was reconciling it in my head and going back and forth, and it was like, if I'm going to continue to report, like this is something that directly impacts me. For one, it's history in the making. It'll be my very first milestone of boots on the ground. Shout out to Lauren Conlin and Inner City Press, who are two of my like biggest inspirations. And I get to go, and I've been watching them the past 6 months, and I get to go do, like, I watched Lauren Conlin on those steps, the SDNY steps with
No,
the
me too. She's out there. Awesome.
I look up to her so much.
Yeah.
And I get to go to a courthouse and like, you know, do this like boots on the ground reporting. I've only just been, you know, what they say, keyboard warriors, like behind the keyboard typing. Like I get to go boots on the ground, interview the protesters and stuff. Also, shout out to Colonel, because I know she did some interviews too when she protested.
Yeah.
She protested the movie that Blake Lively, A Simple Favor. So it's all these people that I watched and that inspired me and stuff. Inner City Press. Remember when I sent you that video? And I
was watching, that video, and I was like, you made me watch it. I watched that thing twice because I couldn't figure out.
I sent her a video of Inner City Press going around the block, and it was a case that was like not any cases that we're following. But I sent it to her because I was like, I'm going to be doing this because I want to do like an ode to Inner City Press for just inspiring me. I want to do like a little blog, walking around the block of the courthouse, because he always does that like right before he enters the courtroom and stuff.
And I totally didn't get it because I was like, oh. Then I got after. I was like, oh, that's what she wants me to get out of this. Like he's filming himself talking about the case, walking outside the courthouse. And I thought it was like you were like, I'm doing this. I was like, why are you in this Bitcoin versus like yoga person case that he's talking about? And I was like, what case is this? And I couldn't figure out what CJ liked about it, but now I get it. And what I was saying before about the don't worry, I meant the don't worry. CJ and I are definitely going to find this magazine and support it, and we'll link it on both of our X pages, since we're doing a bad job trying to find it right now. But don't worry, we will, because we're going to support them, because we're support anyone who is supporting this the truth, Team Truth. And the fact that like Lively's team thinks they can come out here and with these, and they have this like all-star team. I mean, they have the former president of the freaking Nevada State Bar. So you know that Judge Bulwer is going to know exactly who that is. Okay. That's going to have some weight. They're going to have this fancy lawyer from DC. He's going to know who that is. And they're going to pull all the stops. Like this is costing her a ton of money. My estimate is probably like at least like 60 grand just for this hearing, but I'm really bad at math, so it could be more or less. But I think that they're going to pull all the stops, and they know Perez is pro se, and we'll see, because even Perez in his initial response said he would be willing to sit for a deposition. He would be willing to do a sworn affidavit. He said he'd be willing to testify at trial, because he's like, he would love to do that and wears florals. So he gave like some other options he's willing to do aside from like abide by this overbroad subpoena that's asking for his sources and claiming that he's not a journalist, when he's been a journalist so long that even Blake Lively in Gossip Girl pulls up Perez and talks about like Perez, like reporting on them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's continue with Stark Adaptation said they live in San Diego and they're driving down there, so that's good. We're gonna get that's really awesome, Dark, that you're gonna make the drive out there like to support. So maybe we can catch up with you at the courthouse. And the Gossip Girl Perez link is wild. Yes.
Yeah.
Vegas used to have good deals. I guess it's not like that now. Too bad. Yeah, I guess that's what they're going through. Like some so let me
well, it's just like I just wish it wasn't Labor Day. Do you guys know, like I have like the animals here, and I just, I hadn't planned well enough to like have someone come in and take care of feed all of them in the morning, whatever. I would just want to make sure I got back here round trip. That's why I'm still hesitant, but we'll see. No matter what, I'm going to be reporting on this all day, and I'm going to be blowing up CJ to make sure that we get all the details, and CJ and I are going to figure out like how to get her, because I'm pretty sure you can still live stream from your phone without 1,000 subscribers. CJ, hello.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out what the next slide is. Hold on.
Oh no. So like those were just like basically we could stop there.
Is that with the slides? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because those were for a different video I was going to do, and then I said not to do it about like how, because I was going to do a video about how my other video got taken down, but then I was going to do it without showing the parts that were taken down, but I was like, it'll probably still get taken down. For whatever reason, she does not want us talking about Banshee. And so I was like, do I redo the video and take that out or what? But like my other video on Stephanie Jones that like sort of mentions Van Dam, it's still up there, but it doesn't show like that Blake and Ryan are the owners.
Okay, so
And we don't have to do those ones. Those were just from because these slides were from that video that I never did, so we don't have to do those.
okay, so I think that's it. That's our show, y'all.
But if you go back to the other slide, I think you should end the one from before. If you end with the one with the flyer, CJ.
Okay, hold on. Let me bring it up to the
So what do you think, honest to God, okay, I just want people to think like, no matter what happens on Thursday, just know, this is what the point I was trying to get to. Sorry, I guess we got, no, do you want to go to the last slide?
This one?
Oh yeah, that was the same one that was at the end. So what I was, sorry, we're so distracted. So what I was going to tell people was just that no matter what, even worst case scenario, Perez is still a win-win for him. He's facing a really uphill battle. Let's be honest. So she's paying a ton of money for these lawyers, really like the best that she can get out there, and even cover, you know, the person to battle, I think, against like the whatever stuff might come up on the docket about why she's like plantation Khaleesi and stuff. But I think even if he doesn't prevail, it's still a win-win for him. He knows, like, worst case scenario, this goes back to Lyman, and even if everything doesn't go way up there with Lyman, it's just going to help bring more attention to everything. It is more content for him, and it's going to bring a bigger spotlight on what she's doing. I mean, she's trying to attack a shield law for journalists in Vegas. It's one of the most ironclad in the country. That's insane to me. That's like really insane. But in my opinion, I think this issue, I personally think the judge will keep the issue in Nevada. And if anything, maybe just like give them the option to somehow narrow the scope, if anything.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree as well. Let me, I think we're good. Can we wrap up? Because I'm sorry, I didn't realize that it was already 8:30.
Yeah, let's wrap up. Girl, you gotta get going. You gotta pack.
Yeah, so keep Perez
pack your florals
for good vibes. Yes, absolutely. Let's
pack extra pens because they can run out really quickly. You'd be surprised when you're writing that much for that long. Bring like 10 or 20 pens and you're like a notebook.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna do that. And sorry I'm distracted, y'all, but I'm getting like a bunch of messages too. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Definitely we'll keep you guys updated. 10 pens, yes.
Yeah, they run out so quickly. You'd be so surprised.
Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all for showing support. Thank you so much. Have a good night. And we will see you guys Thursday morning. I'll be on Popcorn Planet at 10:30, I think, Pacific time. And then I will also go live on my channel, hopefully. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yay.